Howdy do, super friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Brad, the DCUGeek, and today I present to you my review of the Batman action figure based on his appearance in the new Batman Adventures animated cartoon series. Front box art, great big window, can see everything on the inside. Left hand side of the box, you've got Batman and then the new Batman Adventures logo, and then the other side of the box again, you have Batman with the logo for Batman The New Adventures. And on the back we have some more images of the figures, as well as the accessories, that being a Batarang and his back grapple, and the secondary head. But really this is why we're all here. We want to see everything that we got in the box on the outside, and we want to have a close-up look at it. So both heads are pretty much in scale with each other, so no complaints there. You can pop on the Batman head, or you can pop on the Bruce Wayne head, and the figure's going to look just as good and just as in scale either way. Both heads are painted really nicely, no complaints about how the quality of each of these heads is either. The back grapple for this Batman looks right on as far as the cartoon series goes. It's just the one solid line. It would be kind of cool if there was a secondary rope line or something like that. Batman's Batarang, very simple, very classic looking Batarang. For all the extra hands, he's got open hands, he's got less open hands, he's got hands for grabbing things like the Batarang, and then he's also got hands that have been designed specifically for grabbing the back grapple. I'm not going to go into the figure stand because it's a figure stand. We know what they do. Not really that much fun to talk about. Now the figure itself does look pretty fantastic. This is one that I wasn't quite sure if I was going to pick up because I actually haven't picked up that many animated Batman figures. I did have the previous DC Collectibles version of the New Adventures of Batman, and both the ankles broke off. But this one, although it has many articulation points, definitely seems to be of a better, more sturdier construction. Like, I'm not afraid that these ankles are going to snap off anytime soon. It is very cool that he does have that very simple, smoothed out looking animated appearance. They did a very good job of sculpting how he looked in the cartoon series. I like the simplicity of that utility belt and feel like it does a good job of looking like it did in the cartoon. And it's covered in pouches all the way around, which is always a plus. The more pouches, the better. Batman's gauntlets have more or less maintained the look that they did in the animated series as well. If you're wondering how to change the cape, it's pretty simple. You just take the head off the body, then you pop the cape as well, right off like that, and then you're left with a creepy looking headless Batman. But fear not, we're going to put the other cape right here over his neck piece like that, and then we're going to stick the head back on the ball peg, and what do you know, boom, we have a Batman figure that even more resembles the previous DC Collectibles version, having that solid cape. But it works, it looks good. If you just want to stand him in this cape, he'll look fantastic on your shelf. I would like to say that this cape is a nice soft rubber, but it's not. It's actually fairly stiff. It is sculpted nicely. It does look like it did in the cartoon. It's got the really squared off shoulders as the original cartoon show did, so it looks good. Although, honestly, I may pose him in this, but I also may not. I may want to take pictures of him in the Batmobile and then just put him in the Batmobile, which means we will need the cloth goods cape. And really, for the duration of the video, I'm going to keep the cloth goods cape on him anyway, because I got to do the articulation segment eventually, which means the cape needs to not get in the way. As far as this cape, it's a wired cape, and the overall shape of said cape is about that. So don't be looking for the cape to really fit over his shoulders, because it's not going to do that. It's not that kind of a cape, because you do have that solid plastic piece that goes over his shoulders. So really this is supposed to kind of look like the cape continues from here and goes on back like that. This is always a very strange look to try to complete. There is no way to make it look really good, but they certainly have done their best, and so there's no real complaints here from me. And it is nice that this cape is wired too, so it is a posable cape to some extent. And the scallops on this cape also, they look very cartoon Batman-y. So if you're wondering exactly what the scale of this Batman is, first, I've got him wedged in between two other animated Batmans. The one on the left is from the Justice League, and the one on the right, well, that's the original Batman, the animated series Batman. And if there ever was really any doubt that this is indeed a large figure, you can see him next to the DC Collectibles animated series Superman figure. So then, exactly how articulated is this Batman figure? Well, because it's MAFEX, we know it's going to have quite a bit. Torso has ample articulation, up, down, and all around. Same thing with the waist. Both of these are ball joints. You're going to get 360. The arms, of course, they have a, what is it, a rounded hinge? That is a rounded hinge in there. I was going to say a ball joint, but that's a rounded hinge. And you also have movement on the inside there. You can see another piece. And it's actually the ball joint. It's not like a McFarlane where the piece fits on the inside. The ball joint that attaches to this body actually attaches inside of this movable piece here. So it actually is more or less behaving like a butterfly. And then of course we have the bicep swivels. They do 360. We have the elbows, which are very articulated. These double jointies, they do pretty much everything that I would expect them to do for such a beefy figure. So no complaints there either. The wrists are on these little tiny rounded hinges, and we know what these are going to do. They're going to have quite a lot of articulation all around. He can fist bump, he can punch, he can knock on wood. Down here we have the ball joints in the groin, and these are drop hinges. You don't see these quite as often anymore, the drop hinges. Drop hinges, you drop these down, you get a really good full range of motion there, and there is some measure of rotation at the inside here. We also do have the double jointed knees that crunch up fairly well. And then finally the articulation picks up down again at the ankles right here with a pivot, a hinge, and toe articulation. So a very finely articulated figure indeed. Yes, very distinguishedly articulated. I can't imagine very many people being unhappy with this level of articulation, but you know, it takes all kinds. Some people like the ab crunch, some people like the ball joint, some people want less articulation points because they don't want to see all the different cuts. I feel like this is darn near perfect. Oh, and the head, before I forget, is also, as you know, on a ball hinge. Sorry, a ball joint, and it gets about that, which is, yeah, about average. So what do I think about this Batman figure, all told, having looked at everything? Do I think that this is a worthwhile attempt at an animated Batman figure? Or do I think that MAFEX dropped the ball, tripped in dog poop, and now they're wiping it off their pants and off their face? Honestly, I feel like this is a great animated Batman figure, and I really hope that they attempt the animated Superman and the classic Batman. Heck, let's do Robin. We know the Joker is on the way. Let's do all the versions of Robin. I'm there for it. I'm going to pick all these up because I did indeed miss the boat on the DC Collectibles animated figures. So I think he's worth the price of admission. Usually this guy is going to go for just under $100 if you're buying him brand new. But as usual, you're going to have made your own observations based on what you've seen in this video. Feel free to leave them down in the comments section below. Do you like him? Do you love him? Do you hate him? What do you think? And I will see you with the next one. Have yourself a super fantastic, awesome DC day, everybody. And take care. Bye for now.